This from Toronto. Divya, tough day, couple of days really for the airlines and the travel industry. What's the latest?
Tough few months for the airline industry, if you ask me. I mean, if you look at their share price, it's been falling consistently since the early part of the year. Around the first quarter, they hit a peak, and now they've just sort of come off of that. A lot of it is fits and starts. I think, I don't know if it was you or Joe who was talking about it earlier, but, we were talking about how everybody was so focused on vaccines and how this was just going to completely reopen the economy and reopen the world. But we've seen these issues with variants. First it was Delta, and then now it's Omicron as well. So that's hurting airlines, and it has been hurting airlines for months now. But today's move in particular, which was much bigger, and the slump was much bigger earlier on today, had to do with these cancellations that airlines saw over the weekend, especially with Christmas.
Well, we'll talk a bit more about that, because when you talk about that surge in the stocks that we saw earlier this year, that was largely because everybody was jumping back on planes. They were making trips. And then, of course, we went through the summer, and anyone who traveled during the summer knows just how horrific in some cases it was to get from point A to point B. And it doesn't seem like the airline industry has really wrapped their arms right now around some of these labor issues, obviously driven at least this weekend by COVID.
Right. So there's the labor issues are key here. If you don't have enough flight attendants or pilots to take these planes from one destination to another, you're not going to be able to get your passengers on there, which means revenues fall, which means stocks fall. So with these variants, together with labor issues, which might be because of the variant itself and spiking cases, or because people aren't getting vaccinated, these are really the issues that are hurting the industry right now. Stocks have just come off their highs at the early part of the year, which is what you said, Romain. It had to do with the fact that everybody was traveling, but also the fact that, there were investors who were buying into this reopening trade, and now they sort of slowed off and slowed down on that.